What up, y'all? We live for episode 91 Susio Sports, presented by Dubby Energy. Believe Keyz is gonna get us that little code, whatever the little code thing is he was talking about. The promo code. That's what I'm trying. Couldn't even think of it. He'll get us the promo code sooner or later. But yeah, episode 91 Susio Sports presented by Dubby Energy. Um, we're gonna be football heavy today. Straight up. Football heavy today. Cause I mean, football is back, and now, you know what I'm saying? We got, I mean, football back. Who wouldn't be happy about that? We waited so long for football to be back. Now that we finally got it, we need to enjoy it. Hey, man, that's enough. All right. I wasn't gonna do all that this week. Nah, but we did have some really good games in the NFL and in college football this past week. A lot of sports to get to, and eventually we'll get to it. But I don't know, man. We're looking at the scores from week one. Like I said, my favorite games to watch was gonna be two games was real exciting. It was one that I call Steelers Jets, ended up being exciting. The Monday night game, Bears Vikings, ended up being exciting, right? Okay, cool. But that Lions Packers game, it was more shocking to see how bad the Packers ended up beating the Lions. That was the only reason why that one was like exciting to watch, because it was like, damn, the Lions ain't even gonna fight back. What up, Coach? That's Coach D from Tudo Marks. You need to go follow them. Um, Hold up, let me pull it up right quick. Make sure I got it right. It is at the number 2 dope Marks. Marks is spelled Marks. Go follow them. Good wrestling content. Follow. Uh, they find a way to present their information and make it interesting and entertaining while also giving off their own opinions, not being too biased one way or the other. So definitely go get them a follow. But nah, man, like there was some interesting games, man. Dallas says stupid Bears cost me a fantasy victory. Hey, bro, you know how fantasy goes. You win some, you lose some. But that Ravens Bills game was crazy. I was actually like studying this stuff and saw it was a two-score game with like I can't remember 6 minutes or whatever left, 7 minutes left, something like that. I just so happened to get up to stretch and look at the TV and realize, wait a minute, Buffalo about to kick this field goal and win this damn game. Like, hold up, like what's really going on? Like, yeah, but that was a wild one. That was a wild one. But nah, man, it was some really good games. Like the 49ers got past the Seahawks in the close game. Broncos beat the Titans. Jags beat the Panthers 26-10. I don't know how I feel about that yet. Commanders beat the Giants as expected. Again, the Steelers was over the Jets. Raiders beat the Patriots. But not just the Raiders beat the Patriots. Geno Smith passed for 362 yards and a touchdown. That's crazy. The Colts spanking the Dolphins, I think, was the most shocking outcome of the weekend. Not just that they beat the Dolphins, but the way they beat the Dolphins. The Bengals literally held on by 1 point against the Browns. Young Wei Koo is already getting people coming in to replace him for the Falcons after missing a field goal to tie the game, and they lost 23-20. Texans offense needs to find a way to score touchdowns, like for real. Because the defense only gave up 14, but they still lost 14-9 because the offense couldn't score touchdowns. Cardinals held on to beat the Saints 20-13. And of course, we know the Friday night game, Chargers over the Chiefs, was really good game, and the Eagles over the Cowboys was another good one. It was kind of crazy delayed by that weather delay, but it is what it is. But I don't know, man. Overall, it was a really good weekend of football. I enjoyed the NFL this week. Now, when we look at this coming week, like we get Green Bay and Washington tomorrow. That is going to be a good game because we get to see two young quarterbacks, two pretty good defenses going against one another. Um, Hold up, I gotta put that down for me for this week. So I said Commanders, Packers. The other game I had an eye on for this week because there's supposed to be three of them, and I didn't look ahead to eliminate one obvious one, but hmm. I don't know. It was another one I thought. Well, I was going to eliminate Kansas City, Philly because that's like a Super Bowl rematch. That's come on now. That's 2 weeks in a row. The Eagles get like the easiest, like obvious, pay attention to us game of the week. Um, there's a battle of two teams that's going to be 0-1, or they could go to 0-2. That's the one I was going to say. Like that, anytime you have teams that could potentially go 0-2 if they play one another. Oh, New England, Miami. New England, Miami was another one. Okay. There was another game. What was the other one? Baltimore, Cleveland was the other one. That was the other one. Those are my three games to watch for this week in the NFL. Um, yeah, but that those are the three that I was like, okay, yeah, we need to keep an eye on those right there. Week two of college football was kind of as expected because there weren't a lot of very good matchups. Uh, top matchups, I say. The only top 25 ranked matchup was Michigan and Oklahoma. And Michigan, I mean, sorry, Oklahoma ended up winning 24-13. They were in control for most of that game. Michigan didn't even score until the third quarter, so that kind of lets you know how that game went. Outside of that, man, it was just a lot of expected stuff, except for South Florida beating Florida by a field goal. That was crazy. Was not expecting that. Yeah, those were the only like really like crazy kind of outcomes that you kind of saw this week in college football. Not too much to shake a stick at, talk about. Nothing to really extrapolate about. Not yet, because we're not really getting like the meat of the matchups in the season yet. This week, pretty much more of the same with the top 25. Now I will say the Florida LSU game could be interesting only because Florida just lost to South Florida. LSU's offense has not been very explosive this year like they should be. So Florida could catch LSU off guard this week. A&M and Notre Dame in the top 25 matchup, number 16 versus number 8, with A&M going to Notre Dame. Uh, Notre Dame favored by 6.5. Total is 49.5. Oh, I think that's the. Oh yeah, we have Georgia, Tennessee as well. Um, Georgia going to Tennessee. Georgia being ranked 6th, Tennessee being ranked 15th. And South Florida is actually ranked now after beating Florida last week. They're ranked 18th and they're playing at Miami. So Miami is favored by 17.5. If you want to take some stock into what South Florida did to Florida last week, thinking that they can carry that momentum into playing Miami this week, take South Florida in the points. If you truly believe in that team and what they can do against Miami. Uh, Outside of that, man, everything seems pretty normal in college football. Nothing really crazy to report or anything like that. I think a lot of the early preseason hype has kind of died down some. Um, I'm just ready to get past cupcakes. Bro, it's always like that the first couple weeks of the season. You'll get a matchup here and there, that's like really exciting. Outside of that, you shouldn't really expect much. Like they're not gonna give you nothing real major. Not like the NFL will. Now the NFL will kick around some stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like with the Eagles last week, of course they get the kickoff special because they won the Super Bowl. They're playing a division rival, raising their banner at their home stadium on Thursday night kickoff football. Okay, cool. But then week 2, sending them to Kansas City in the Super Bowl rematch. Like, come on now, that's teeing them up right there. Like you making sure they're visible and they're out there because the NFL controls their schedule from season to season. College football, you don't really like you make plans deep down in advance, sometimes like 4 or 5 years down the road. Okay, we're gonna have a home and home or a home and home or whatever series, blah 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 blah. So you have a lot of that stuff planned out way in advance. NFL, they make their schedule every season, season by season, off season by off season, or whatever. So it's like they plan this shit out so they can create the drama. Especially, I like the rule where Goodell was like, "All right, last game of the season is going to be a mandatory division game." So every season, somebody can't just like fall off or fuck it, we ain't making the playoffs, we ain't win the division, bullshit type of stuff. So I like that rule as well. But college football, you just got to live with them early season games, bro. It is what it is. It ain't gonna change no time soon. Teams is paying and making too much money off of this model and the way this is going for it to like truly drastically change to get better matchups for all 12 games of their regular season. It's just impossible, especially when you got conferences and stuff like that. Like it's not even feasible to try to drag it out or there's no incentive is what I'm trying to say for them to say, okay, I'm going to do it like this and this. There's just no incentive for them right now. So that's just what we're gonna have to look for. Um, Comes to MLB. Update y'all on the standings right quick. Blue Jays up by 2.5 over the Yankees, 3 over the Red Sox. Detroit Tigers might as well go home and rest because they're up 9 over the Gardens, 9.5 over the Royals. And damn AL West with them Astros, always making it interesting. Only a game and a half up over the Mariners, 2.5 up now over the Rangers. Phillies, again, they might as well go home and rest. They're up 10 over the Mets. Brewers, you still got a little work to do because you're only over 6 over the Cubs. So you got to tread lightly, be careful these last few games of the season. And the Dodgers are still in the dogfight with the Padres. They only up 2 over the Padres. So it's the two West divisions still that's been trending all year, playing it close to the vest, that are still playing it close to the vest towards the end of the season. So we shall see. What's his name? Oh gosh, I can't even remember the dude's name. Shit. Cal Raleigh hit his 50th home run the other day. Now you got 53. Shout out to Cal Riley. That's a wild season. Man, if you don't get your ass out of here with that bullshit, don't ain't nobody no Rangers fans nowhere but you, and they ain't got enough. Um, so WNBA got the playoffs already set, which is great. Let me see. Yeah. So it's the Lynx, the Dream, the Aces, Mercury, Liberty, Fever, Valkyries, and the Storm have made the WNBA playoffs now. Um, to this day, I think it's still the Lynx title to lose, as dominant as they've been all season. But then again, that's why they play the games. Like Hermit would say, you play to win the games. But I mean, this is why they have best of 5, best of 7 series and stuff like that, because they want to make sure the best definite team is going to win. It's not just going to be a one-off, like, oh, we caught y'all on the right time, the right night, blah, blah, blah. Nah, it ain't going to be nothing like that. It's going to be like, nah, you got it. Wings about to get another number 1 pick. Yeah, probably so. It's going to be crazy to see, but who knows? In other news, the NBA decided to pick up the investigation on Malik Beasley, even though the feds dropped the case against him. That was kind of an interesting tidbit that dropped today as well. It says an investigation stems from allegations of improper gambling on NBA games and prop bets from the 23-24 season when Beasley was with the Milwaukee Bucks, according to some sources familiar with the matter. So ESPN reported on June 29th that Beasley, 28, was under federal investigation by the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of New York. At the time, NBA said it was cooperating with that investigation. 2 months later, Haney told ESPN that Beasley was not a target and had not been charged in federal investigation, which had resulted in 4 guilty pleas related to a gambling scheme involving former NBA player Jonte Porter. So evidently he was, cleared of anything. But the NBA says, nah, we don't trust that. We're going to investigate it anyway. So, I mean, it is what it is. Like, he can't do nothing about it. He just got to hope and pray that his name get cleared. But being tied in with that eviction notice or whatever that he got, it just seems like he's continuously adding to his list of off-season problems that he shouldn't have had a very long list to begin with if he just kept his nose clean. But I mean, hey, people got their vices, things happen. I ain't here to judge. I'm just saying, like, bro, you got to be smarter about the choices you're making. Bro, this salad is so good. I came home and my daughter had made shrimp pasta and Caesar salad. I'm just not getting to my salad because the pasta before I came on here. That shit fire. Um, the only other thing I got for y'all tonight, because I was trying to keep it brief. I got some stuff to go do, some studying to finish. But we got Canelo Crawford coming up on Saturday, right? And like I'm dead into it. We now have to talk about it because it is upon us. But here's the thing. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Um, Hold on, let me open it up before I forget because I know it probably didn't change by now. But I remember when this fight was first announced. Terrence Crawford opened up as a plus 175 underdog, right? Okay, cool. It is what it is. They on Canelo hard. Like, oh, okay, cool. You know, Canelo hard. That's great. Now, when I go back and I look at it again, Crawford is now a plus 145 underdog. Canelo is still 175 favorite, minus 175. Okay, cool. I'm betting on Terrence Crawford, and I'm about to do it right now for the number keep changing. Simply because the public keep putting money on him to win this fight, money line, right? The reason I believe so is because people have a full fledged confidence in him being able to counter punch and outmaneuver Canelo, right? Most people don't think Canelo has that counter punch game. They don't think he moves very well, so they don't think that he can, move good enough, have his wind in him to keep up that movement and bobbing and weaving and constantly throwing punches or whatever to counteract what Terrence Crawford is going to do. And not only is Terrence Crawford a good counter puncher, but he's also a good, on attack type of fighter, is like I like to call it. Because he's on the hunt, he's on the prowl. He's not always just gonna sit back and wait for a counter punch opportunity. Like he'll hunt you down if he has to, but he's smart about it. He's not just a puncher or a brawler, right? So there's times in which you just have to go about looking at things. Number one, I want to make money, so the underdog is always going to be, a safe bet to make good money on, unless it's just like a stupid, overwhelming favorite for some reason. And I mean, you got to bet so much to make so little, it doesn't make sense. Um, but I believe he's still an underdog because the betting public feels like Canelo is the better fighter, the more known, more popular fighter, right? I mean, that may be the case in some cases, in some areas, but to me as a boxing fan, I've been a boxing fan a very long time, just about my whole life. Um, I simply don't see. I can see where Canelo would win this fight, but I just think that Terrence Crawford's style is going to present him with troubles that he's had in the past. I think that Crawford will be able to carry the weight, the extra weight on him because this is more or less his natural walk around weight. Uh, if he just does his cardio and everything and whatnot, I think he has the opportunity to, have a good fight, be able to throw good punches, still keep his, hand speed and lateral quickness as far as his footwork is concerned. But I also think that he has the opportunity to slip some of Canelo's, punches and, you know, work his defense to the point where it'll frustrate Canelo trying to go after him. And Canelo isn't the type of fighter that's going to, get frustrated, go after him and make a mistake. He's the type of fighter that's going to, punch himself out, get tired, and then get sloppy. So I can easily see this fight going, the distance. I don't think that anybody will be able to finish the other off. Not saying that it won't happen. I just don't think that that's likely a possibility. But I do think that'll be a really, really good fight coming up this weekend. Y'all should definitely tune in. Give me 1 second. Let me just double check something right quick. Okay, here we go. Like I said, just to reiterate, I think my games of the week to watch this week in the NFL were Commanders Packers tomorrow night on Thursday Night Football, Pats Patriots and Dolphins, because both teams are in danger of going 0-2 if they lose. And Ravens Browns, same reason. Both teams are in danger of going 0-2 if they lose. However, I just feel like the Ravens are going to win that game. But I think the Browns defense is good enough to try to make it interesting. It just depends on how the Ravens feel after taking such a tough loss against the Buffalo Bills by being up by 2 scores and then losing that game anyway. So I definitely think those games are going to be games to watch. Another game to watch, low key, is that Broncos Colts game. Because Daniel Jones and that offense look pretty damn good going against that Dolphins defense. Now they're going to get up against a much tougher opponent in the Broncos defense. However, that game is at Lucas Oil Stadium, so it's on their home turf. Time to see what they're working with. That's going to be a really good one to watch. College football, like I said, it's only a handful of ranked matchups that we're seeing this week. So it is what it is. But I do indeed think that we're going to see some good stuff this weekend. However, it's going to be more of just cupcakes fighting each other outside the Georgia-Tennessee game and the South Florida-Miami game. Those are the only two ranked teams we got this weekend. Like I said, depending on how you believe in South Florida, you may want to take South Florida and the points in that matchup because they have Miami favored by 17.5. So if you believe in what that South Florida team did and can do, then you'll take South Florida and the points on that one. As far as the other ranked matchup is concerned, it was Georgia-Tennessee. I don't know, man. Georgia's still favored by 3.5 going to Neyland Stadium. I don't know about that one. Now that was kind of tough for me to call right there. Very difficult for me to call. But outside of that, it's gonna be a lot of probably blowouts. You may get a nice tight game here or there or what have you. You just never know. I do not have a rant for this week because my brain fried, bro. I'm tired. I've been studying this stuff, staying up late, waking up early and stuff like that. Like, I'm tired, boss. Like, I'm done. You feel me? But nah, man, like, we appreciate y'all for coming in and hanging out with us for the little time that I did give y'all. I'm sorry. I'm done. I'm tapping out. Y'all only getting 30 minutes from me tonight. That's it. Hopefully next week will be a better week. I can give y'all a full hour and a half. But right now I'm tired. I want to go finish eating the salad. I'm mad that I ain't got no more pasta to eat because I ate it all. But yeah, nah, I gotta go finish studying this stuff too for work. Um, and I'm trying not to fall asleep, so I'm trying to get a few more reps in studying. But episode 91, Susio Sports presented by Dubby Energy. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Appreciate y'all for chatting, reposting, streaming, all that. We'll holler at y'all next week.